So once again, I am really talking about three things that I feel that should be included in your emergency plan in order to be prepared for those crisis situations. Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Candy Zenon. I'm an author and a life improvement coach and the CEO and founder of Changing Seasons Life Coaching, where I help single moms strengthen their faith, family, and finances through one-on-one coaching, books, mentorships, live events, and of course, a good old solution. I wanted to come on here and talk about the three ways that I think you can be prepared for an emergency. Why? I am in the state of Georgia now because of an emergency. Yes, I was rescued from a hurricane. I was told to evacuate for 5 days, and by the sixth day, I was declared homeless. And I was standing outside of a building, um, waiting in line. I still today don't know what the line was. I say we were waiting to register with FEMA, but I really don't know what was going on inside the building because my miracle took place outside of the building. A man came to me with a pink flyer and he said, "We'll send you anywhere in the world. Where would you like to go?" And I said that I would like to go to Atlanta. And so that he gave me the information to a makeshift office that they had located in that area. And I went there to fill out the paperwork. They asked me if I needed transportation to Atlanta, and I said no, I just needed directions. And once I arrived in Atlanta, um, the detailed story is in my book, Hope for a Rainy Day, but just a short form of the story. I arrived to Atlanta, and a church helped out my family. They provided us with a two-bedroom apartment. They had everything in that apartment from bunk beds to band-aids. And I say all of this to say you never know what your emergency will be. Mine was a hurricane. Yours could be a health crisis. Yours could be an impending eviction. Yours could be a death of a spouse. Yours can be a loss of a job. Whatever your emergency is it is imperative to be prepared for it because those people, those companies that call themselves ready for you when you are in a state of emergency, they are really like loan sharks and they prey upon your vulnerability, urgent need of their services, like finance companies that charge you 100% interest rate, pawn shops. What else we have? Title loans, where they're asking for the title of your car and they're going to give you pennies on a dollar, right? And and payday loans. And payday loans put you in a cycle of not having enough after you pay them because they automatically take their money. So you have to still deal with your responsibilities on the thing that is left. So you have to be prepared for the unexpected. Why they sell umbrellas on a rainy day? Because it will rain. And just like Jesus Christ said, you will have tribulations. Just like grandma say, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Why? Because you're going to need some eggs, more eggs on certain days, less eggs on other days, but you will need the eggs. So if the basket fall and all of them drop, you won't have any eggs, right? So you have to be prepared for the unexpected, and it only hurts worse. The stress, the anxiety, the fear is built up because we're not prepared for the unexpected. So the first thing on my list is health insurance. And health insurance is normally associated with having a job. So going opting for that health insurance sometimes may be drooling because sometimes you have to pay a cost. Some employers incur a certain percentage of that cost, which is helpful. But get what you can, even if it's employee only insurance and you have to insure your children through maybe a state funded insurance plan. But make sure you opt for insurance. Number one, if you're the breadwinner, you don't want to prolong a health issue or a crisis or something that you know just not right in your body, but you fear seeking the proper medical care because you don't have proper health insurance. So when I think of health insurance, I think of preventive medicine, preventive care. I think of access to health care. I, I think of discounts. Who don't like a good old discount? I think of discounts because there's a contract between the provider and an insurance company that gives them a discount just because you have that particular company. So I would definitely have health insurance on the list, on your emergency plan list. That's one thing that you need to look into to be properly insured with your health insurance. I'm all for holistic care. I'm all for good old juice and berries, right? But certain things, once it gets to an emergency state, it needs to be treated as an emergency. So let's look into health insurance. Next, short term insurance. Short term insurance is normally, if you are employed, it's the short term insurance, disability insurance is normally offered for free by your employer. It pays when you're for a short period of time, maybe 60, 90 days. You have to read your terms, but it pays if you're not able to get to work for after a certain duration of time. It kicks in and it helps ease the cost, the burdens of paying on your things like your mortgage, your car notes, your car insurance, those things that you need to secure food, shelter, and transportation. So really look into that short-term insurance plan with your employer. Make sure you opt because sometimes it's free. You could just check the box. Other than that, if you want to go to an outside vendor, call any insurance agency. Each, each insurance rep is licensed for a specific area. But if you're here in Georgia, call Walker at Country Financial in Kennesaw, Georgia. Don't opt for the long-term insurance policy for for obvious reasons. It costs. So the cost is going to take more at your pay period. More at your pay period mean less you're bringing home. And less you're bringing home mean less money you have for the things that you're responsible for. I get it. But like I said, especially if you are the primary provider for your family, what happened if that income is lost altogether because of your mobility, because of your vitality, because of your mental faculties? Life happens, and we never know what can happen during that journey. So it's best to be prepared. And like Chris Rock said in that movie, right? Insurance is for the just in case. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So the insurance is just that. It's for just in case. So check with your employer to check and see how much money it would cost to opt for that long-term disability insurance plan and see what in your budget could be moved around in order for you can adopt that long-term insurance plan. So once again, I am really talking about three things that I feel that should be included in your emergency plan in order to be prepared for those crisis situations. And number one was a health insurance policy. Number two was short-term insurance and long-term insurance. And now, still under number two, we done talked about short-term, we done talked about long-term. I want to talk about the life insurance policy. We hear about that a lot, especially on social media, when the hot dog, the hot link sandwich and chips and soda being sold in order to fund a burial fund for Pookie and them. You want to leave that household intact. You don't want them now to try to sell some a pancake breakfast, a pancake dinner, hot links and barbecue plates, fish fries and fried chicken to bury you. That's number one. So now they trying to figure out how to bury you. They now have the medical bills because you probably didn't have health insurance. Now the medical bills putting a lien on the house. The house can't be paid for. It's going to foreclosure because nobody in the household had enough money to pay that type of money to keep a mortgage up. And what if now the house is going into foreclosure? Now it's going to be auctioned off um, on the courthouse steps the following Tuesday. So don't put your loved ones out on the street in the cold or the heat, especially if you live in Atlanta or Texas, and some hot places, right? So you want to make sure that your family will be okay. Allow them to grieve in peace. Allow them to grieve in a safe dwelling. And the way that you do that, you leave them a proper amount of money to take care of the things that you may leave behind. Whatever that may be, medical bills, house, whatever responsibilities or debt that you have, that can be taken care of with simply paying a monthly premium for a life policy. So that life insurance money, that premium will pay out to your beneficiaries, and your beneficiaries are the persons that you have designated who's going to get the money, because you know in your heart of hearts they will be responsible to do the things that you have listed. And hopefully you have a will, a living will and a will and testament to leave behind, to designate where these funds go properly and who gets what, and everybody's able to grieve you properly and celebrate the life that you live. Celebrate the entire life that you live, and not just continue mourning the one day that you left them. Right? So all of that is under number 2 and 3 and final, savings account. I know. Everybody always talking about a savings account, but you're just trying to figure out how to pay the light bill, right? Well, a savings account, according to statistics, the average American does not have at least $500 in their savings account. And that savings account could be that little cushion, that quick access to money that you can have that could get you out of a pinch, right? Your savings can get you, it could be the difference between a bill being late. It could be a difference between a flat tire. It could be the difference between one check to the other. It could be the difference between helping a family member. So that money sometimes, being able to have access to fund your own emergency, it keeps you from going to those loan sharks. Those loan sharks like payday loans and title loans and pawn shops and those 100% interest rate finance company that's waiting in the bounds for those who did not prepare. Somebody prepared for your unpreparedness. Let it be you. And how do you do that? Each time that you have income into your household, put a little aside. Just be like that little chipmunk that they're storing up nuts for the winter. Why? Because winter is coming, right? It's guaranteed that we have 4 seasons, unless you live in certain parts of the United States or the world. It doesn't vary in seasons, but let's just say we're supposed to have 4 seasons, right? And winter is one of them. So be prepared for winter. How do we prepare in the physical for winter? We have coats, we have cute boots, right? We have turtlenecks and layers of clothes. We have heat. Thank God for heat on a cold winter day. We have fireplaces. We have fire logs. So we're prepared for winter in the physical. Be prepared for winter in for life's journey. Store up those nuts. And so you say, well, Candy, I know all of that. I just can't afford all of that. Well, more so, I want to invite you to a free masterclass that I have available on my website. You can click on the link at candyzenon.com. I want to invite you to click on that masterclass because if you say, hey, I know this, I want this, I desire this, I just can't afford this. Well, this masterclass is giving you 3 principles that you can implement in your life right now at this moment. And right now it's 1 a.m. in the morning. And you can start now at that moment. So come on my website, candyzenon.com, click on the free masterclass link, and get started today. That's all I have for you. As always, I am just trying to help you just live life a little bit better. Once again, I am Candy Zenon, author, life improvement coach, and I'm hopefully helping you love through it, learn from it, and live after it. See you in the next video. Thank you.